Hello, colleagues of the ECFA. I always think that a picture is worth 1,000 words, so a video's got to be worth, what, 1,000,000 words? So what I like to do is in this video is kind of walk through this document that I've been playing with to organize our work, our committee work that we talked about at the next ECFA. So let's take a look at what I have here, and you will have some homework assigned on this. Remember, obviously this is a draft. We're playing with it, seeing how it works. Hopefully it's something we'll go forward with some tweaks and input as we go along. So no, it's not finalized, and if you have some suggestions, please come forward. Well, the first thing I have here is a cover page. What's so important about a cover page? Well, I do have a hyperlinked index. I thought it made it easier just to jump to the various committees. So you can click on undergraduate policy, and bam, it will bring you right to your committee or the committee that you want to look at. So a hyperlinked index. Let's look at the actual committee pages. And this is where you'll have some homework. We'll remove my picture here. So each committee, obviously I've plugged in the name of the committee, but I have not necessarily plugged in the particulars of the chair, chair-elect, and secretary. That'll be your homework. Also, scope of duties. Please plug those in. That is your homework. Some of you have scope of duties that we've approved at the ECFA, and some of you have yet to bring those forward. If you're still working on them, that's fine. Put in your draft scope of duties. If they have been approved by the ECFA, plug those in there. So plug those scope of duties in there, whether they're draft or not. Plug them in, okay? And if they're draft, please put the words, parentheses, draft on there so we know we haven't finished those out. We are probably going to tweak those scope of duties. I was expecting that, as we might shift a few things around to make sure that we've aligned the duty to maybe the best home. But I think for the most part, we're 95% on track with those scope of duties, what we want each committee to do. Then in here is really the task management area where you're going to have your project tasks, a brief description of what that task is, scope of a duty number. So you're going to put that scope number in there. So we want to make sure whatever task project you're given, it aligns to a scope of duty for the most part, or multiple scopes of duty. List those in there. The date accepted. When is the project accepted, developed, etc.? For a date, or I guess for a project to be accepted by the committee, it'll be brought forward to the ECFA. So we'll kind of formally say, yes, this project or task is correctly aligned to this committee, go forth and do it. That's going to be that accepted date. So you'll plug that in there. Any resources needed or stakeholders involved, maybe you don't need any, maybe you do, but I thought it was important to put that in there. If there was some special resources that you required, you'd have a way to kind of give us a brief description of that. Progress report. Now this is where I see just a couple of sentences in there that will keep everybody abreast to how things are going with that project. Again, doesn't need to be super detailed. I think just a small little snippet. Eventually, this will be shared, I'm thinking, with the entire college community. So letting the entire college community, or the faculty community, I should say, have a nice little summary of kind of what's going on with that particular project or task. A target date when you hope you aspire to have it completed, and then the date that it was actually finished. If it gets finished, some projects might end up being terminated or not done. That's okay. But the date it's actually finished. Then this column for notes, I've kind of gone back and forth, so I just left it kind of more generic. This could be an area where you might want to put any follow-up information that you need to do. Maybe you're carrying over a project to the next academic year, or whatnot. So anything that you think is essential, pretty much at the close of the project. Now we don't need ongoing project notes necessarily in there. That's for your committee, to have as you're working through your project. These progress report area, that's again just a brief summary. So we don't need the minutia of everything that's going on. But the notes are really kind of at the close of the project, what is essential to remember from the conclusion of your task or project. So that's pretty much it. So your homework is this. By next Wednesday, please go in and update your chair, chair-elect, and secretary information and plug in your scope of duties, whether it's draft or the ones that we have approved. And then if you have those projects and tasks that you're working on, give a stab at this. Plug in some of these columns in here, and make sure that you hit save after you're done. So let me know how this works. If you're encountering any technical difficulties, let me know. I think again, going with not using SharePoint but using the OneDrive is a lot simpler, cleaner solution for us. So we're going to go with that OneDrive. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.